Hello, welcome to my ePortfolio for Liberal Arts Capstone, LES 430. This portfolio represents my academic journey. It's a little bit of personal information, not too much, and the connections to try to integrate across the different disciplines that I've studied. Humanities, obviously, communication, data analytics, fitness, cinema, music, art, biblical studies, just to name a few. I am the perfect poster boy for a liberal arts education. This presentation, I will highlight the key areas of some of the projects and studies that I've been involved in, how they've shaped me as far as my perspective academically, personally, and seeing that I'm at my home away from home, my workplace, professionally. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. My academic career has always been at a Christian university or a Christian school in general. I started at a Christian high school, then I went to a United Brethren college, that's on the Protestant side, and I'm ending up here at a Catholic university with the Dominican sisters and their influence. The religious or spiritual influence isn't something that's necessarily new to me, but it was nice to get a different perspective, specifically from a Protestant view to a Catholic view, and then specifically with the Dominican sisters. Of course, there's an emphasis on critical thinking, social justice, and social responsibility, and that has encouraged myself, and I'm sure all of you, to look beyond just the surface value understanding, more analytical in our approaches, and then consider the ethical and human real-world impact of knowledge and how it's going to be applied. And that has encouraged myself, and I'm sure all of you, to look beyond just the surface value understanding, more analytical in our approaches. This aspect has helped me to view new things that I'm learning in more than just a surface level, but to understand and how to apply those ethically and the impact they have in the real world. The next section is my artifact on the history of graphic arts, where I covered the history of heroes and iconic comic book covers, ranging anywhere from characters like Superman to Deadpool or Wolverine, Black Panther, Spider-Man, Batman, Spawn, and Thor. I've always loved comic books. I enjoy drawing and art, so this was one of my favorite projects. And I also was able to submit a YouTube-style presentation, which I hate to say, I spent way too much time editing. The purpose of the project was to review the impact, imagery, symbolism, how these comic book covers communicated powerful messages about heroism, justice, identity, fears and aspirations of characters, and also social values for the contextual time frame when the comic books were released. The next section was making sense of data. This was a 100 level mathematics class, and it has been one of the most challenging classes of my entire collegiate career. I was able to make this more enjoyable by integrating analytics and fitness. The project was weightlifting performance in adults over age 40, which is very relevant to me since I am well over the age of 40. It combined personal fitness data with broader statistical concepts such as averages, variation, and distributions. All things I had no idea what I was talking about until completing this course. The information from this specific study, it reminded me of the body-mind connection, which reminded me of a different course. I will review a little bit of a section on that. That course was called Comprehensive Stress Management. The more I look back, the more all of the classwork that I've taken since my return to Siena Heights, it is an obviously integrated system, whether I meant for it to be this way or not. I think that's the beauty of liberal arts. The next section is from Comprehensive Stress Management. I chose Hickson Gracie, who is a jiu-jitsu master, a yoga master, among many other athletic achievements. I tried jiu-jitsu. I didn't do well, so I did get this belt, but it's mainly just to hold my clothes on, so we're gonna get rid of this really quick. My artifact from Comprehensive Stress Management was on the book Breathe. by Hickson Gracie. It was a nice integration of stress management, relaxation, performance, athletics, combat, sports in general. But it also was an insight to breathing techniques and mindfulness. I learned managing stress is not just about reducing pressure, but it's also about building resilience, discipline, and awareness in a day-to-day situation. The next section goes back to the history of graphic arts. I was able to study a wide variety of topics. Art is so inclusive. I was able to have lots of flexibility with the topics that I was studying. I was able to explore the role of art in social movements, specifically amongst Mexican American workers in the 1960s. My father is actually one of those workers from the 1960s. I was able to learn more about the United Farm Workers' use of visual imagery and symbols to advocate social change and human dignity. In combination with the art and the peaceful protest movements, there was significant political change. That reflects to me, being a young Chicano man, not young, being a Chicano man, half white, half Mexican, this still has major impact on me today. Many of you will remember the module on automation and the workforce. I've included for my next artifact a review of Daniel Susskind. The evolution of technology and seemingly the human struggle to keep up and adapt to that was the focus here. My argument was that humans will adapt because we have to. Being a humanities major, it would be a travesty if I argued against humanity. The next section is on intercultural communications. I did a film review of the Disney Pixar film Coco. I love the music, I love the characters, I love animation and art. This was an easy one to do. Once again, I was able to study some of my own culture. This film analyzed themes of family, tradition, cultural identity within Mexican culture. It demonstrated the importance of respecting different cultural perspectives. And then, of course, in-depth analysis, I was able to develop a stronger appreciation of how communication shapes relationships across cultures. The differences can be bridged. In conclusion, my humanities degree and my liberal arts Capstone ePortfolio, the aim is to reflect the journey starting here in Adrian, born and raised, taking me to several different schools with a change of several different majors. This encapsulated my liberal arts journey perfectly. The variety of academics, denominations, education styles, and locations has helped shape me and made this journey an amazing process. Starting back in 1997, I feel like I was very limited and I felt contained by my education. 20 years later, I was able to be a little more creative with my topics that I studied. I was able to integrate subjects and areas of interest that related to the coursework. This made everything much more enjoyable, but it also made it easier to learn the information. I use the word easy. It has not been easy, especially having to relearn how to go to school. Not knowing the systems and not being familiar or too comfortable with the digital online format was a challenge, but it did force me to adapt. This humanities degree will help me be a better contributor to the community, a better contributor to my family, to my workplace. It actually is probably going to help me achieve more financial success, which I know we've learned that that is not the focus, but it is going to be a nice benefit to be able to provide a better life for myself and for my family. I appreciate you joining me on this short introduction, and I hope you enjoy my ePortfolio for the liberal arts capstone.